Yeah, so if you want a combat story, I was in a regular infantry unit. We weren't like the 82nd Airborne. We weren't a Ranger Battalion unit. So we were just like your regular infantry guys, ground pounders in Iraq. And so I have, in my book, I have a lot of kind of unconventional combat stories. Like basically when you're driving down the road and the IEDs hit you, or when we were hit by there were these weapons called an improvised rocket assisted mortar or an IRAM, and these are these crazy Iranian missiles that they taught the Iraqi
Hmm.
militias there how to use. And in 2008, we were involved in the largest, our base was involved in the largest IRAM attack to that date. It might still be the biggest one in history, but at least to that date, it was the biggest one there, where basically just these flying refrigerators of death rained down upon us and caused all kinds of chaos. But my favorite combat story is probably, and the combat in quotes is probably the namesake of the book, Zarqawi's Ice Cream. So people might not remember, but Zarqawi back in like 2004 to 2006 era was terrorist number one in Iraq. He was a really bad
Yes.
dude. He was a guy probably more responsible than anyone else for really instigating the civil war between the Shia and the Sunni Muslims in Iraq. He blew up some very famous mosque, and it just kind of started cascading from there. He was a Sunni guy, and he would bring in car bombers from all. It was kind of like a pre-ISIS thing. He'd bring car bombers in from all over the world, and they would just blow up Shia targets, soft Shia targets for the most part. Terrible, terrible guy. So anyway, like he was public enemy number one, and everyone in our sector was looking for him. And we knew he was in our sector close by. We did a couple missions kind of in the area we thought he was in. Then one day we get this big battalion mission where they start getting the whole battalion, which is rare. Like usually you're going out in like a platoon, which is like 20 or 30 people, or like maybe a company, which is like up to 100. But they called up our whole battalion, so about 500 people. They got everyone in their trucks, and we sat on the base all like they got us ready at like 8 o'clock at night, and we just sat in our trucks all night. No one getting any sleep till like 4 in the morning. Then we headed out. So we were on the outer cordon to get Zarqawi. They had a pinpoint location on them. Our units were outer cordon, and the Rangers were actually going to go in and hit the house and hopefully just pull out Zarqawi or shoot him in the face. And so what happened is we're on the outside perimeter, and the Rangers flying in helicopters, of course, all badass, and they hit the house, and we hear all the flashbangs and breaching going on, and they just go through the house and like devastate it in like 90 seconds, and they're gone. So then they call us in. And so we go through again, kind of raiding the house again after the Rangers. And there's still some military aged men who flee, and there's shots fired. It's all kinds of just stupid, dumb chaos. It's a house full of women and kids. There's about 15, 20 of them, and we pull them all out and put them out front. And it ends up being that Zarqawi was actually there, but he had left about an hour and a half, 2 hours prior. But this is basically all his women, all his hangers on were there. And so it's just like, wow, we were so close to getting this guy. If we had got them, like even just on outer cordon, we would have like this would have been like the biggest thing to happen in this war this year, like easy. So we miss him, but then our medic goes into his refrigerator and he pulls out these giant boxes of ice cream. And we haven't eaten since like dinner the night before, and we're just no sleep. We're all disgruntled. We're all pissed off, kicking his teenage sons and stuff in the butt and just like mad. And all of a sudden, the medic finds the ice cream and he hands it out to all of us. He's like, guys, cheer up. We're eating Zarqawi's ice cream right now. And I said, God damn it, that's not gonna be a great book title one day. And so that was our near miss of glory. Lo and behold, about 2 months later, Delta Force and other elements did manage to track down Zarqawi, and they dropped two Air Force JDAMs on him, and they killed him. That was actually 5 miles from our base. I heard those bombs drop. It was pretty cool, and that was the end of Zarqawi.
Thanks for checking out Battle Line Podcast. This is just a smaller clip from our latest episode, which you can check out in its entirety by clicking here. While you're watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up the video to show your support. Now, if you'd really like to help us out, click the thanks button below to make a donation. It goes directly to us in keeping Battle Line Podcast going.